Prime Minister Narendra Modi is en route to the United States of America, where there is an official state visit that he will be embarking on for the next few days. 20th to 25th are the official dates. By 25th, he'll be returning. So 21st to 24 are those crucial days where the meetings, whether it's going to be talks on business, defense deals that are likely to be on agenda. But importantly, it will be, remember, the Indian diaspora also that's excited to be receiving Prime Minister Modi, and there's going to be a massive event that has been initiated. So dressed in this immaculate white and blue, he's handshakes, namaste, smiles and a wave before he departs. And this, remember, he's going to, in the next few hours at about 11:30 p.m. is when we are being told that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be in the US, and that is where there's going to be a red carpet rolled out for him, 21-gun salute, with an official state visit. So it's also important to add here why I'm constantly mentioning that it's a state visit. There are protocols to each head of state that's going, and with regard to Prime Minister Modi's visit, there is, remember, a mention and a reference with the state visit of the sort of alliance that US is looking at with regard to India, and the strategic alliance that we are forging with the USA is in many ways a new friendship as well. Our Foreign Affairs editor Geeta Mohan is in the US. She'll be tracking all the latest from that meeting as well. Geeta, good morning. We're saying that it's a historic visit, but there are also big expectations. What will be on the cards?
Well, it's a packed schedule for Prime Minister Modi. The moment he lands in New York, he will be welcomed by Indian community members outside his hotel, and then the next day, on the 21st of June, the International Day of Yoga would be celebrated at the UN headquarters. After 9 years, Prime Minister Modi is going to be there. There are going to be quite a few prominent members, not just of the United Nations, meaning ambassadors, diplomats, but also other important key members from New York, members from the Indian community who will partake or participate in the Yoga Day celebrations. It is going to be an important and a significant one, given the fact that yoga now is an important aspect of India's soft power diplomacy, and that would be a display in New York. After which he will leave for Washington DC, and the first day in DC he will be welcomed by the Biden family for an intimate dinner. It's the next day when the state visit actually begins with the White House ceremony welcome. In an unprecedented manner, we'll see Indian diaspora or people from the Indian community on the lawns of the White House welcoming Prime Minister Modi. They'll be numbering between 600 to 1,000, never seen before, having members of a community from a certain country with a visiting dignitary in the White House. Apart from that, we know that there are bilateral talks, agreements to be signed. There are 2 or 3 very important deals. The two sides have been conversing and talking about emerging technologies, but it's the defense sector where the major outcomes would come from, whether it is the GE F414 jet engine deal, or for that matter Predator drones. Not confirmed yet, but that certainly is on the cards, and if that comes through, we're talking about $3 billion for the United States of America. This is election year for both the leaders, Biden and for Modi. So not just high on optics, like Foreign Secretary Quatra said, high on substance as well. Will that translate into achievement back home? We'll have to wait and see. But then the State Department lunch hosted by Kamala Harris, Vice President of the US, and Secretary of State Blinken, again an important engagement. He is going to engage the business community in a very, very big way, looking at investors to come and invest in India. That's what India has been trying to project and trying to ensure that the message goes across to the community in America, that if you want deals from India, source from India. If you want manufacturing and if you want India to buy from America, then manufacture also in India. Apple could come, Micron is looking to coming. That again is going to be a $1 billion deal. So important deals on the anvil. And it is going to end with the diaspora event, not as big as Madison Square Gardens, but certainly big enough.
So about that big Yoga Day celebrations as well, Geeta, because Prime Minister Modi is going to kick off basically the tour with those celebrations at the United Nations headquarters. Can you tell us more about, and I'm also curious to know about the arrangements, the preparations for that, because it's not just with the diaspora, it's at the UN headquarters.
Well, the event at the UN headquarters in itself is going to be very important. Why? Because it's the United Nations Secretary General, the UN body, UN members, all of them going to be there. But it's also a day where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to talk about or look at the voice of the Global South. And more importantly, there's one very important thing that happened just a couple of, or I should say a week ago. That is the Peacekeepers Memorial Wall, for which India moved the resolution first. It has been adopted with a massive support coming in, and that in itself goes to show that everybody involved with the UN body, countries involved with peacekeeping operations, are all part of that that effort to build a memorial wall. Prime Minister Narendra Modi could go and see the place where that memorial wall will also be built. That is going to be within the UN headquarters, the premises of the UN headquarters. But apart from that, again, coming back to Yoga Day, it's going to be an early start around 8 a.m. in New York time, when they all would have gathered and the event will begin. We do not really know the details or contours of how they're going to be placed, but we know that security arrangements are quite tight. Initially, we were told that cameras will not be allowed inside the UN headquarters, which means the premises. But after a lot of insistence, now we are going to get an opportunity to go inside with our cameras. So they'll be reporting on what's transpiring and what's happening, but it's amid a lot of security, and top leadership of New York, as also of the world when it comes to representatives from various countries at the United Nations are going to be in attendance.
All right, Geeta, looking forward to your coverage coming in from the United States of America that starts today.